So the first element is, as I mentioned, an organizational commitment to patient centricity, really mapping out a strategic vision and a roadmap for the journey. So I'll switch over to the app and ask you, does your organization have a written overarching goal or vision for patient centricity? And if you would go in and give an answer. If you're not in a pharma organization, you can maybe answer on behalf of a client that you might be working with now, how you think they're doing. So if we switch back to my presentation, I think many, although not all of the organizations that I've talked to have some kind of initiative established around patient centricity, but it really takes widely varying forms, right? The most successful organizations do two key things, right? So first, they've established an organizational vision for patient centricity that actually spans all aspects of the organization, from R&D through commercial and everything in between. And second, it's not just a top-down mandate. It's not just a sort of vision statement that's written on the wall of the lobby, nor is it just a titular head of patient experience somewhere in the organization. It's really pervasive throughout the culture of the organization, a focus on the patient as the center of everything that the organization is doing. But when it comes right down to operationalizing this, we see a lot of different models, right? So people say, that's great, it needs to pervade the organization. What does that actually look like? Although the unified vision across R&D and commercial is really essential, we still see different models emerging on both sides of the organization. So there's sort of two models that are emerging as more common and more mature patient-centric organizations on the commercial side. There's sort of the brand-led model and the center of excellence model, right? And they both have strengths and weaknesses, right? On the brand-led model, the real strengths are that obviously you are able to invest in solutions and initiatives that are directly relevant to the business that the brand or therapeutic category is trying to achieve, and really know deeply how that's going to connect to the needs of the patient. On the flip side, it's sometimes challenging in that brand-led model to create initiatives that then can translate throughout the organization and benefit other parts of the organization as well. It's difficult to invest in broad infrastructure initiatives, for example, that might allow you to do some broader things. The COE-led model is obviously better at sharing best practices. It typically has team members that may embed or be aligned to brand teams. But it's also obviously a cost center. So it requires a significant commitment level from the C-suite and leadership in order for that model to be successful. On the R&D side, we see models that are similar to both. We're typically recommending more of a federated model where you have a centralized governance capability, some level of centralized governance and capability in team, but different functions have a lot of flexibility in how they leverage that team and how they implement. So let's take a look at how you ranked. Yes, we're starting to operationalize, 37%, so about a third. So that's great. It sounds like we didn't put an answer up here that said, no, we don't have one at all, because I hope everyone has some vision for patient centricity. But it sounds like we're pretty evenly split between the three answers.